Hi, in this video I am walking you through wall drop wall presses. You can do this without a slant board. You can do it with a homemade slant board. I've got a video on my YouTube channel. Go and search and watch that before you do this. Or you can use a step ladder. I've got a slant board. I've got it on a level that I find, I use this level all the time. So it's the second to last one and it gives me an incline of about there. But you don't have to use this, you can just use the wall, so stand up against the wall. So I'm going to get myself, you can't see my whole head, but it's not my head you're looking at, it's my lower half, from my shoulders. So stand, whatever you're standing on the floor or on a step ladder, making sure that you're hip width distance apart. And so that means that you've got a line running all the way down from your shoulder, knees and ankles. Making sure you're a bit pigeon-toed. And you can wear shoes on your slant board if you wish. I've got heel spurs and really, really big calves. So I find wearing shoes is better for me. So you need to have your heels, your calves, your bottom, as much of your back on the wall as possible and your shoulders. Don't force your head against the wall, but the idea is to get your head and shoulders and back all touching the wall. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, it could be a year or 2 years, just don't force anything. So you begin by having your arms and hands like this. Try and make sure that your hands are really flat and starfished on the wall, and make sure that your wrists are out. So they're not like that, they're not like that. I find this bit really difficult, especially with my right hand. So making sure you've got your head as far back as possible without forcing, shoulder blades touching, and you're going to have a nice deep breath, looking straight ahead, forward. Soften your knees if you need to, if you're finding that it's too much of a stretch. And you are going to pop your head back as far as possible without forcing, and you are going to push into the wall with your lower arms and your hands, and it should bring your shoulders off the wall slightly, so you shouldn't be bouncing like that. It's just a really controlled movement on your shoulder blades. And you might find that your shoulders want to go up like that and hunch. You're trying to remember to keep your lower arms, hands nice and flat, pressing against the wall. It's a really tiny movement. It's your shoulder blades just bouncing off, but you're not bouncing your shoulder blades off, you're using your hands and your lower arms. Now you only need to do 10 of those. I've just been talking too much through the video. So do 10, really nice and controlled, same manner throughout, no jerky movements. And then the second part of the movement, you're going to put your head forward. So bend your neck so your head is forward, and do exactly the same. Do 10 of those. Remembering to use your hands, starfish your hands, and your lower arms. And even before you do the pressing, you might get a really nice big stretch. For the second part of the exercise, you are going to turn your hands so your palms are facing outwards like that. Same again, making sure that your hands are nice and flat, straight out of the wrists, so no like that, no wonky wrists. Great to do this in front of a camera, a video playing, so that you can see exactly what you are doing or you're not doing. And head back against the wall, or as far back as possible without forcing, and do exactly the same again. So making sure that the whole back of your hands are pressing out and flat against the wall, and your lower arms. It's really good one, this, for getting into your shoulder blades. and stretching your calves off at the same time. So do 10 of those, and now dip your head forward like that, and repeat the same amount of times, so 10, making sure that your whole back of your hands are flat against the wall and are pressing against. So you might find that you want to lead with your thumb area, this area. Try and make sure that it's the whole area, and this will get all of your arm muscles working instead of just one. So you tend to find if you are leading from your thumb, it will do the outer edge, this edge here, whereas if you're leading from your little finger, it will control this part. So if you try and ensure that you've got the whole part of your hand pressing flat against the wall, you should work out the whole of those muscles instead of just isolating them. Oh, it's really good for the triceps. So you do 10 in this position with your head back, and then 10 with your head forward. Change over and do palms facing outwards, head back, 10 that way, and then dip your head forward, 10 that way.